That's interesting. Good evening, welcome everyone to tonight. By Councilmember Fleming, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all that you have shared with us and with our city and our state. We also ask special blessing of family. Our first responders, our staff, and our council members and family. Yes, we continue to bless mankind, especially those who are in war and who are suffering. We pray that you be with them and stand by them. We pray that you will do that is pleasing in your sight as we work through the city of doing business for the future. These are all of the blessings we ask for your name. Amen.
So you're going to work and call a roll?
Councilmember John DeWorke.
Aye.
Councilmember Lillian Fleming. Councilmember Ken Gibson.
Here.
Councilmember Rob Worthington.
Here.
Councilmember Walter Stahl. Councilmember Dorothy Dow. And Knox White.
Here, just realized my microphone wasn't on. When you tell me?
We didn't know.
You didn't know. You have the minutes of March 11th, which will stand approved as submitted unless there are any objections or anything. Okay. We have a few folks who signed up to speak to us today. We have a 3-minute clock, so we'll just be mindful of the 3 minutes on the wall there. First up is Mr. Alan Estridge. Nice to see you, Alan. We also have a no cell phone use of this room.
It's fine, just,
I saw you on the cell phone.
thank you. Good evening. I just wanted to show up and be sure to distribute to each of you our 2023 annual report that you all have a copy of. It is absolutely incredible. I hope you'll take a few minutes to look over it. There's a lot of great information in there, including our financial performance between 2006 and 2023. So a lot of great news, a lot of great stuff going on, and thank you for your support as always. And if there's anything that I or any of the staff or board can do for you, please let us know, okay? That's it.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Mr. Conover, good to have you with us, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Mayor White and members of the Greenville City Council, my name is Kirk Conover. I'm currently serving as the first vice commander of the James F. Daniel Jr. American Legion Post 3 of the Department of South Carolina. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you this evening. Post 3 has been part of Greenville City and the surrounding area since our founding in 1919. As you may know, the American Legion was founded in 1919 by veterans of World War I. It is the largest veteran service organization in the United States, and we regularly speak with both national and state level representatives. Post 3 was officially chartered on 24 July 1919, so the post will soon be entering its 105th year. We moved into our current location 90 years ago in 1934, building the structure from stone quarried in Travelers Rest. Some of the activities that Post 3 sponsors: the Goodfellows Christmas Food Program, providing holiday meals for families in need. We've been doing this for about 99 years. Palmetto Boys and Girls State, which is a program for rising high school seniors, providing an understanding of the American system of government and politics. The South Carolina Law Cadet Academy. Academic awards for both public and private schools. We gave out 84 academic awards, 16 junior ROTC and 2 ROTC awards. Scholarships and oratorical contests for students in grades 9 through 12. Currently, we're distributing approximately $8,000 in scholarships. The money follows the student regardless of their program or what school they go to. American Legion baseball, parades and ceremonies to include the Garden Club of South Carolina. I believe I saw you out there, Mayor. Military night at Floor Field, and of course our museum, which is open to the public, and we also do private showings for school groups. The City Council has a priority project that is a multi-million-dollar plan for an Academy Street downtown bypass. This includes the intersection of North Main and Academy, which is where Post 3 is located. We held a sensing session at our March meeting last week. Post membership is open to the idea of selling the property, but only in a manner that would allow the Post to continue to grow and meet the challenges for our next 100 years. We would rather only move one time. This would require some changes that Post 3 is eager to discuss with the council and the city manager in the near future. The bottom line, we request assistance from the city to help find a long-term solution of benefit to both Post 3 and the city of Greenville. Again, thank you for letting me address the council.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the fact you've been down there for almost 100 years and all the efforts as a former Boys Stater. Anybody else on Boys State in this crowd? Yeah. Hey, look at that.
Is that not surprising?
Girls State, Girls State? No, no, no.
And you,
American Legion, and played American Legion baseball. Thank
Yeah,
you.
okay. Great career Mr. DeWorkin had in that, I know. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, city manager has been talking to you guys about our plans in the area, which we're happy to, discuss at any time. And obviously it's 100% your decision to make about what you want to do on that site, but we're happy to be of any help on that if you want to. But thank you. Thank you for being with us. We have a short agenda tonight. You got to stay for the whole thing. It won't be very long.
one more. Just got one little question.
Okay, we have also, I'm not through. Phyllis Henderson. Good to have our former county council member and.
This is so odd for me to be
And
on.
regional city resident.
Yes,
She's
yes.
not,
right.
so-
My very first job was actually in this building, when I got out of grad school many moons ago. Knox had just got elected to city council. That's how.
What? Phyllis was actual. State.
Yeah, my name's Phyllis Henderson. I think I know all of you at some way, shape, or form. I used to serve on county council. I served in the State House. I actually currently now work at Roper Mountain Science Center, and I also serve on the Renewable Water Resources Commission. And I'm here to talk to you about the Cherrydale annexation. I actually am not a city resident. I'm about 4 or 5 parcels away. I have looked at it over on the kind of the Monaghan Mill, San Souci side of town. And I came to talk to you about the fact that I know that I saw some of the news reports from the very first meeting you had, where there was some conversation by some of the special taxing districts who had said that they were going to lose revenue and that they could not afford, to lose this property. I'm here to tell you that I have done the math on my personal taxes on my home and my properties. And my total millage, if I lived in the city instead of where I am now, my current millage between Parker Fire and Walnut, it's not sewer now, just fire district, and Greater Greenville Sanitation is 107.5 mils, plus a $200 sanitation fee that Greater Greenville charges, as opposed to what your millage is, 81.4 mils. I have a fairly modest house, but my property taxes would go down by almost 25%. And one of the things that happened, I will tell you, I was tangentially involved in this consolidation effort because of my service on REWA. And, I was very disappointed that Greenville County Council chose not to require the sewer districts that were consolidated, and there were about 6 of them, to reduce their millage accordingly as they lost sewer service. So for example, Parker, who had fire and sewer service with 92.6 mils, lost the sewer service and kept the 92.6 mils, which to me is not quite fair as a taxpayer that I'm continuing to pay for services that I no longer receive from them. So came to talk to you about that. I will also say if there's arguments about people losing jobs, every single person in a sewer district that was consolidated was offered a job by Metropolitan Sewer District. Now, I don't know if all of them took jobs, but I feel pretty confident in saying that there would be no unemployed firefighters in Greenville County if something were to happen in terms of that. There's always needs for folks in law enforcement and support. So anyway, I just wanted to encourage you that please keep annexing.
I will tell you the difference, as you all know, in driving from the city to the right outside the city limits in terms of infrastructure is pretty visible. And I would like to see that development come more over to my side of town.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all the folks who signed up to speak for us. We now proceed, item 10A.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I would like to recommend for appointment Gay Sprague, former city council member Gay Sprague, as the city's appointee to the Capital Project Sales Tax Act Commission, which was created by Greenville County Council ordinance pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 4-10-320 on Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. Nominating.
Okay, motion is second. Any other nominations? Madam Attorney, should we do this a voice, can we do a voice vote or, you want to do it?
You can just do a voice vote.
Yeah, I defer to your clerk on that, but I think for a nomination, it was a voice
We'll
vote.
do it by roll call.
That's right.
You can just do a voice
Okay.
vote, Mayor.
Hmm?
You can just provide a voice vote on this one.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Aye. There's an issue on that. Okay, consent agenda, do a motion,
So moved.
motion second, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember DeWorke,
Aye.
Councilmember Fleming,
Aye.
Councilmember Gibson,
Aye.
Councilmember Brazington,
Aye.
Councilmember Stahl, Councilmember Dow,
Aye.
Mayor White.
Aye. Regular agenda 14A.
An ordinance to amend the 2020-2025 Consolidated Plan and the 2022-2023 Annual Action Plan to reallocate unused grant funds for the fiscal year 1920, 2021, 21-22, and 22-23, and approve the appropriation of these funds in the Community Development, Home, and Hopping Funds.
So moved.
Motion in a second. Ready for a vote? Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember DeWorke,
Aye.
Councilmember Fleming, Councilmember Gibson,
Aye.
Councilmember Brazington,
Aye.
Councilmember Stahl, Councilmember Dow,
Aye.
Mayor White.
Aye. 15A.
An ordinance to appropriate $250,000 from the Law Enforcement Special Revenue Fund narcotics account for the purchase of equipment and training to support the public safety initiative.
Second.
Motion second.
I have a question.
Okay, Chief Thompson's there.
Yes.
All right.
What funds the Law Enforcement Special Revenue Fund?
So these are mostly come from our federal partners. We have task force officers assigned to our federal agencies, DEA, FBI, Secret Service. Secret Service being the last one that made a good contribution to this on a case that we worked jointly with them that contributed about $300,000 to our seized fund account. And so then we're able to use this on particular things in law enforcement training, equipment, things like this. So this will be specifically used for, we're going to replace 2 dogs, 2 of our canines. They are retiring, and we're going to add 2 new dogs, which is expensive. Our tactical vests for our SWAT teams, negotiators, things like that. Those are at end of life. And so, and then we'll get some advanced training too. This money doesn't cost the taxpayers anything. It doesn't come out of the city budget.
It's from seized
It's from
assets.
seized assets. That's correct.
Any other questions? Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember DeWorke,
Aye.
Councilmember Fleming,
Aye.
Councilmember Gibson,
Aye.
Councilmember Brazington,
Aye.
Councilmember Stahl, Councilmember Dow,
Aye.
Mayor White.
Aye. 15B.
An ordinance to annex approximately 0.192 acre of real property and 0.052 acre of adjacent right-of-way located at 108 Tulip Street and to provide the zoning designation of BH.
So moved. Second.
Motion second.
Michael, does this, all
What?
right, so 110 and 112 Tulip were part of the Cherrydale annexation,
Believe that's right.
right? This is 108. Does it all come in at the same time or is there a gap between it?
Cherrydale had to happen and pass first to establish the contiguity to this parcel.
Okay, and are all these now, do they go to the planning commission or,
This one will go to planning commission
Okay.
next. It has not been there.
great?
Correct. No.
Any questions? Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember DeWorke,
Aye.
Councilmember Fleming,
Aye.
Councilmember Gibson,
Aye.
Councilmember Brazington,
Aye.
Councilmember Stahl, Councilmember Dow,
Aye.
Mayor White.
Aye. 15C.
An ordinance to annex approximately 131.19 acres of real property and 0.27 acres of adjacent right-of-way located at 500 Garden Trail and West Castle Drive, and to provide the zoning designation of RH C.
Second.
Motion second, if you want to.
I want to ask Austin Rutherford to come up and speak
Yeah.
about our efforts the last 2 years now to work with Chanticleer and this golf course.
Can we get the microphone up a
I
little
don't think
bit?
there's.
Yeah, the microphone seems to be, is it on?
doesn't seem to be on.
Push it forward towards
I
you.
thought it just.
Council.
Better, yeah, better. Thank you.
There you go.
City staff has been working with the Chanticleer Golf Course, specifically Greenville Country Club, for the past 2 years. They are seeking to annex the remainder of their Chanticleer course. A portion of that was annexed in the 1940s, but portions west of Brushy Creek would be coming in through this annexation. The requested zoning district is RH-C, or House C district, and that is the same zoning district applied to the rest of the course that's already in the city, as well as the Riverside course off of Bird Boulevard.
All right, clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember DeWorke.
Aye.
Councilmember Fleming.
Aye.
Councilmember Gibson.
Aye.
Councilmember Brazington.
Aye.
Councilmember Stahl. Councilmember Dow.
Aye.
Mayor White.
Aye, thank you.
And I think,
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, we need to recognize the representatives from the country club. Michael Fletcher, I don't know who else is here.
Yeah, good to have you.
Michael here.
But Michael's here.
I'm confused.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And Austin, great job. Okay, 15E.
D. 15D, an ordinance to amend the official zoning map of the city of Greenville with modifications recommended during the 6-month zoning map review process.
So moved.
Any questions on, clerk, call the roll?
Councilmember DeWorke.
Aye.
Councilmember Fleming.
Aye.
Councilmember Gibson.
Aye.
Councilmember Brazington.
Aye.
Councilmember Stahl. Councilmember Dow.
Aye.
Mayor White.
Aye. 15E.
An ordinance to amend section 19-4.6.2 vehicle parking of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Greenville to provide regulations for the parking of recreational vehicles in residential areas.
Second.
Motion second. Question.
I just want to make a comment. I know a number of us on council have been talking about it, but there are some areas around the city where we've just got some property owners, some residential property owners who are not keeping their yards and RVs and vehicles in the spirit of what we expect people to do kindly in the city. And so I know we've got first reading tonight. But I know I think Councilor Dow, I don't want to speak for you, and others are going to be working with the city attorney to see what we can do about some of those problem areas. And so look forward to supporting this first reading tonight, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we can see how we can, whether it's through this ordinance or otherwise, see how we can address some of these problem properties in the city that really it's just not fair to neighbors.
And Michael, one of our text amendments in the 6-month review restricted the number, I'm asking, but correct me if I'm wrong, restricted the number of commercial vehicles you could park on your property at any given time, like maybe to 2, something like that?
This one, yes.
One. You know, and a vehicle is a vehicle. You know, it could have a Mary Kay magnet on it, or it could be a plumber or whatever, but that the intent of that was number of vehicles. And we have seen recent cases where it just is a little bit too much. I will say I've learned more about RVs today than my previous years of life. That the RV, if it's on blocks versus on wheels, it's a no-go. I think that's the first thing to look at. Is it on blocks or is it mobile? If it's not mobile, that's a no-no. I know, it's been a really enlightening day. You're welcome.
I got nothing else to say.
On blocks, we already have that taken care of. That concludes.
Councilmember DeWorke. Councilmember Fleming. Councilmember Gibson.
Aye.
Councilmember Brazington. Councilmember Stahl. Councilmember Dow.
Aye.
Mayor White.
Aye. 15F.
An ordinance to approve an addendum to the development agreement between the City of Greenville and Camperdown LLC for a mixed-use project bordered by South Main Street, Broad Street, and Fall Street, and to approve a public access easement for the purpose of assessing and maintaining public improvements for the project.
So moved.
Second.
And I have a question.
A question, okay.
Michael, is this a Michael thing?
This is a Shannon.
Oh, good, it's a Shannon. Shannon. Exhibit H, which is actually a very excellent exhibit, by the way, for staff who put this together with all the arrows of what is ours to take care of and what is theirs. Thank you. Very, very helpful. So the southeast corner, which is at Main and Broad, the owner is to maintain landscaping and irrigation and planters. The owner is to maintain all porcelain pavers and all electrical and PASA. My question is, there's not much else left. There are trees planted in there, and then there's some bump outs at Main and Broad. I mean, what else is left for us to maintain in that section?
Well, there's a few other things that the property owners have added that we do not want maintenance of that are decorative in nature.
Uh-huh.
And we would not be assuming maintenance of those items.
Who is, okay, maybe in the planters.
That's right.
Who is responsible for the trees where the pavers are removed and they're fairly mature trees? Does that count as landscape
It
plant?
does, it does. But we would want to work with them if we got to a point where we needed to make changes to those trees.
Gotcha. But the decorations in the decorative planters are not our responsibility?
No.
Okay, thanks.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember DeWorke, Councilmember Fleming, Councilmember Gibson, Councilmember Brazington, Councilmember Stahl, Councilmember Dow,
Aye.
Mayor White.
Aye. New business, 16A, resolution.
A resolution to provide for certain certifications regarding an abandoned building and abandoned building site according to SC Code Section 1267-100, except located at 731 Rutherford Road.
Move. Second. Motion second. You want to briefly describe where that is? There you go.
Sure. This is part of the Otherlands Brewing and Cafe project. It also relates to the next item we're going to talk about. So they're both owned by the same company. And this certification process is something that's, again, managed through the state legislation. And so it creates an income tax credit for businesses that want to improve properties in the city. Counselor Dow, I know you asked a question about jobs for these. We've added that.
Helpful. I didn't ask
Yes,
about
we've added
Yeah,
that,
okay,
31 jobs for this one. And so they are asking for the certification so they can get their income tax credit.
And Olivia, in this slide, it appears to me those three existing buildings, an investment was made to dress them up. They look great, by the way.
A large investment, yes,
A
ma'am.
large investment, no doubt. Those buildings are there in the before at the top, and then in the after, they look much better.
Sure.
They made their investment in those abandoned buildings.
That's correct. So again, they're asking for a certification from the council so they can go to the Department of Revenue for their credit.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. 16B.
A resolution to provide for certain certifications regarding abandoned buildings and abandoned building sites according to SC Code Sections 1267-100, except located at 15 Olean Drive.
So this is the one I had a question.
Sorry, may I have a motion?
Motion and second.
Thank you.
Questions?
So see how this is all on property? And the tax credit, the way it reads is, and I'm really just paraphrasing this for layman's terms, because we have had questions about tax credits for historical properties, tax credits for abandoned buildings, very relevant questions. Recognizing that these are not city tax credits, a tax credit is a tax credit to any constituent of mine, right? It's tax money paid to whatever entity that's given back as a credit. In this case, the bottom picture is the before, the building, right? And the top picture is as it currently stands, which doesn't stand. So no reinvestment is being made in the building, definitely in the property. And to me, that's kind of a head scratcher that I just wanted a little bit more explanation if it's an abandoned building tax credit, but there's no building.
And, sorry.
Go ahead, because I have the answer to that too. Okay.
It is actually, they are in the code, it is, the eligible expenses are defined. And as part of those.
This is a state code.
The state code, correct. Yes, ma'am. It is defined, demolition is an eligible expense. And again, the state income tax credit is based on the amount of money that they invest. So clearly, the building renovations were a very large investment, but they need parking space for the brewery and cafe.
Let me get to your question real quick, because it is a question that's come up with me. So it's called the Abandoned Building Tax Credit is the act. But if you actually read the language in that act, it's actually a credit for abandoned buildings or abandoned building sites. And so my memory serves me well, that if it does serve me well, it talks about both abandoned buildings and abandoned building sites, correct?
And that certainly isn't in our resolution. Our resolution says.
Councilor Dow, I've had issues with that, differentiating that as well, but it does say in statute, a site and an abandoned building. What I've talked about, I'll throw a curveball in this whole conversation. What I've always had a problem with is when you have an LLC and the owner of that LLC demos a building and then sells that LLC to a new principal, and that new principal tries to take the tax credit. That is not in the spirit of the law. And I verified that the owner of this LLC is the same owner of the LLC prior to and after the demolition. That's always been my hang up. But I see what you're saying in terms of abandoned buildings and abandoned building sites.
It reads, the act provides that transformation of abandoned buildings to productive assets for the communities in which the abandoned buildings are located serves a public and corporate purpose and results in job opportunities and tax base. The first one that we had one ago is clear.
100%.
Clear. This one was a demo. And again, we're just in this role of kind of, I don't want to say rubber stamping it, but we're proving it is a state authority thing. But a tax credit is a tax credit is a tax credit. And I mean, it's running up and down legal in our group that's approving it. And that's good enough for me. I can understand why constituents.
Well, don't undersell us. I mean, we have a very important role in this process because the Department of Revenue, when this act was created, the Department of Revenue basically said, we have absolutely no way to try to keep up with all the abandoned buildings and textile and all the other tax credits. But for abandoned buildings, they authorized the local government to certify it because frankly, DOR couldn't keep up with it all. So they gave us that authority. So it's a serious authority we have. It's certainly not a rubber stamp to certify these. So I think all your questions are very appropriate.
Doesn't this say you could mow down any abandoned building and get the tax credit?
Well, if it qualifies, there are qualifications that go in for what an abandoned building is. But in the act, it does say abandoned building or abandoned building site. So to answer your question, yes.
So you said this is going to be used for parking?
That is the plan that have.
The previous item.
For the previous islands, Oberlin, Other Lands Brewing and.
So for the building that created the 31 jobs, this will qualify as parking for
Correct.
that particular job
Correct.
site. And are they thinking that this parking is necessary for that first item?
Correct.
All right, and to the extent they get a tax credit, it is only for the amount that they use for this particular one. It's only for the amount that they use to actually demolish the building and clear it away.
Correct. There are eligible expenses that they have to document through the DOR. There's another process for that's outside of our scope. But they do have to provide the correct documentation. That is one of the things too for this particular lot is the current market value, fair market value is around $27,000. We expect that with the improvements to perhaps move up to around 150,000, and that will impact our property taxes, which they will pay. So
Okay, so just to be clear, and I'm not trying to change anybody's mind on this one way or another. So the demolition of this particular building will actually allow for greater valuation and the 31 jobs that we've touted in the prior one.
correct.
Okay, all right, good deal.
I mean, I think that's the whole point, that it is economic development and incentives. But it's coming before us over and over again in both this and the Historic Review Board.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I mean, I don't know if that.
We should in no way ever rubber stamp these things. I think.
No, I agree with that, but I think in this particular instance, I think it qualifies.
And if I can just offer for clarification, while our office is asked to review the applications to make sure that it appears to qualify, you are not obligated to approve them.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, well, decision point. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay.
Good conversation.
16C.
A resolution to designate $15,000 from the city council's reserve in the state accommodations tax fund for the purpose of providing financial assistance to the 2024 Artist Fair 2020th Anniversary Festival.
So moved.
Motion second, everybody okay? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Ms. Manager, do you have anything extra to say to us tonight?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you for taking us through the work session earlier today. We
You're welcome.
did all that. Lot got done. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.
6:01 PM.
I'm sorry.